Day 16, and the question today is, what makes you furious and why? Well, this is a pretty easy question. It's a pretty easy question. There are two things in life that make me furious, and that is when I'm talking to somebody and I'm confronting them about something and I know the truth, and they know I know the truth, but they still try to hold on to that lie that they told. So someone who lies to me is a very, I've become very disappointed very quickly. If I know that someone's lying to me, like, my respect for that person basically dwindles, and it'll take a lot to get that respect back. So you lie to me once, it's maybe a mistake. You lie to me twice, you know what you're doing, right? A third time, you're not going to get a third time, honey. So lying is a no-no. Next one is thievery. I cannot deal with a behavior where someone takes what doesn't belong to them and claims it as their own. And a lot of the times, you see this all the time on the news. You see they break into big, big stores and they steal from them, right? But, I'm kind of looking at this. I disagree with thievery. I find it disgusting, disrespectful, horrible, right? But, some of these instances, not all, but some, you see the prices in the stores go up and up and up and up, whether that be for food, whether it be for clothes. And a lot of the times, people like myself, poor people, we can't afford to go to the store and buy fancy clothes all the time. We go into the store, we look, and we wish, and that's about it. We do not purchase, right? And the prices on everything is going up. So, the truth is, even though I do not like that behavior, in some instances, I can understand it. There was a question they gave us when I was in social work and I was in the course that I was taking. There was one of the questions, because they want to test your limits, right? To see if you are ethical and things like that. And so one of the question was, if you had a child and that child was ill and you didn't have any money, okay, and you knew that the drugstore had the medicine, but you didn't have the money, and if you didn't get the money, your child might get sick or might end up, a lot of bad things can happen, right? So would you steal the medicine or would you not? If you knew your only option was to steal that medicine or your child might meet their demise, would you steal that medicine? Think about it. That's one of the questions in my course. I graduated. Yeah, I graduated. I had a pretty good mark too. So, but the truth of it is, that is a very, ethical. I think it's an ethical question, because stealing is wrong. And we've been taught since we were kids, stealing is wrong. If you can't afford it, you don't buy it. Or, if it's food and you can't afford it and you have the means to grow it, then grow it. Yeah. Or, when I was raising my kids and I was still working, I had a lot of neighborhood kids that were poor, right? And so what I did is I started a community initiative where we would solicit not groceries, but things that you can make, like homemade bread, and you can make twisters and things like that. So I would go to these companies and I would ask them, would you like to donate? This is a community initiative we're doing, and I'd like to, have a bake-off with the kids, and we'd like to have some of the goods donated because the families are, low income. And so many grocery stores said yes. There was a few that said no, and I have never gone to those grocery stores again, ever. I did not frequent their doors. I did not darken their doors, because I do not believe that a company that is selling products and basically overcharging for absolutely everything, okay, I don't believe that they deserve my business. Yeah. And they weren't willing to contribute in any way to the people who were actually giving them their hard-earned money, like myself. So I never darkened their door, ever again. But there was some that gave certain products like flour and yeast and eggs and things like that. And so I'm a baker. And so what I did is I taught these low-income kids, and I was low-income. So I'm not saying that those kids were any worse off than I was. We're all in the same boat. I was working as I was a crisis line worker at that time. Yeah, I was a crisis line worker, and I was low income. I lived in, a situation where I wasn't able to afford these big fancy apartments. I mean, my kids bunked up many times. You know what I'm saying? So there was that tightness in our budget. So I'm no better than anybody else. So my neighbors, these young children, and myself, we got together at my house. We used my electricity, and I taught these kids to bake homemade bread. And I will tell you, I was so proud. I was so proud of these kids. They just bunched together. They were amazing. They made, I think we had massive boxes, the fridge boxes. Actually, no, it was a stove box. And it was full, brimming full to the top with homemade bread, twisters, cinnamon buns. It was amazing. It was amazing. And then we took it down to the local food bank, and they were appreciative. Trust me, they were. And we even had, we received an award for community service. So, you get a few laurels back. It's not that we were looking for it, but why not? Why not? These kids put this effort in to help their community, and it was well respected, right? So all I'm saying is, if you think that you need to steal food, right, do something like that. Get a bunch of people together and have a potluck once a week. Go and see if you can get some meat or some potatoes or something from the food bank, the local food bank, to donate. And once a week, have a big get-together where all your neighbors and you, if you're of the same mindset and you have the same type of income economic bracket, okay, and you need that extra bonus, get together, start a community initiative. There's not enough people out there that give a shit. There's not enough people. Trust me, there isn't. I have watched people walk by, homeless people who were literally starving, and you could see they were hungry, okay? They weren't asking for money, they were asking for food. Yeah, okay? So, and I've seen them walk by and just kind of like this kind of look of disgust. And don't think I wasn't among that group at one point in time. And it wasn't disdain. I was scared. I had been attacked so many times by people who were not in control of their emotions or in control of their faculties because of drugs and alcohol. And so I was scared. Yeah. So I would cross the street. Then there came a time in my life when I seen that head on. I seen that firsthand. I became someone who needed that extra help. And so I thought, instead of whining about it, let me do something about it. So no, I have no use for the behavior of thievery. It's wrong, totally wrong. I disagree with it. And if you're guilty of that, you need to take a long look in the mirror, like seriously, because it's not right. And even that question where if your child was dying and the only way that you could get that medicine was to steal it, that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough question, because first I would think, okay, there's got to be another way to get it. So I would go to one of the service clubs and ask them for help. I would go to even the food bank. I would go to any type of support group that I could to find out if I could get it, the funds to purchase that money or to purchase that medicine. So there are ways. You could sell something. If you had nothing to sell, you could try a different route. So you could try all these different avenues to see if you could get that medicine for your child. But I will tell you this, if I had exhausted all possibilities, there was absolutely nothing. And I couldn't even work for the money if I didn't have enough time to work for the money, okay? I could do house cleaning. I could scrub floors, toilets. I would scrub a toilet with a toothbrush to get my child the medicine they needed, and that's the truth. If I had to work for it, I would put the effort in and I would work for it, get the money, go get the medicine, and save my child's life. However, let's say you didn't have enough time to make that money. There's another option. You don't have to do thievery. There is another option. You could ask for the funds ahead of time. You could ask to be paid for a job ahead of time and use that money to go get the medicine. Yeah. Or you could approach the druggist, wherever this may be, and say, look, my child is going to die if I don't get this medicine. My child's going to get sick if I don't get this medicine. And I'm working, and I will have a paycheck on such and such a day. If I sign a promissory note, and I have it notarized, will you give me that medicine for my child? They might do it. You never know. But there are different avenues that you can take besides stealing it. But if you're just going willy-nilly and you're doing it for fun and you're doing it for flair and you're doing it to get your name in lights, you're going to get them. You're going to get your name in lights. Yeah. And you're going to get a picture taken with your name also. And it's going to be put in a book and it's going to stay with you for a very, very long time. Know what I'm saying? But there are even avenues where you can go. You can go to a church, a charity organization. Salvation Army in Canada. I don't know about in the States. In Canada, Salvation Army. There is so many support groups out there that are willing to help. Many of them. Knights of Columbus. So I don't think that stealing is the answer. I really don't. But I'll tell you this, and the truth is, and I think it goes for anybody. If there was absolutely, totally, and completely no other options, and your child needed that medicine to save their life, I don't know, I might be getting my picture taken. You know what I'm saying? But that's after I had totally exhausted all my options. And there are many options out there. There are so many options. We all say that this world is going to hell in a handbasket and that nobody cares and that the grocery stores don't care and they're putting the price up. But think about this. The grocery stores have to pay for those products to be shipped, to be put on the shelves. You know what I'm saying? The grocery stores have a lot of overhead. Yeah. And I know when you run a business how much overhead there truly, truly is. And there's a lot. There's a lot. And when there isn't, they find a way to make a lot. Yeah, to make a lot of overhead for you. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about those things too. So I can understand maybe once or twice a month, the grocery store will have an amazing sale and, they will put their prices down. But if you don't have that option, you can go to, I go to John Tiger. So what? I don't buy my food from Loblaws all the time. Sometimes I do. But if I can't afford it, I'll go to John Tiger. I'll go to, wherever, right? The farmer's market. And I'm frugal. So let's not veer off topic because, like I said, I have a tendency to get kick. So, so lying and thievery are two things that I will not condone. I cannot accept that behavior. I can't say that I hate a liar and I hate a thief because hate, like I said, is a very strong word and it has a tendency to kind of bounce back to you, right? So I'm very cautious on that. I'm very cautious on that negative word. But those are two behaviors that I can never, ever, ever condone. And there is another one that I just had an instance, a circumstance where this happened to me recently. And it was kind of hurtful. It was kind of hurtful. I had someone say to me, I'm not responsible for you. Yeah. I'm not responsible for you. And it was in a conversation. And it was someone that I trusted. And I was voicing my disappointment in something. But I was voicing it as a joke. And I was voicing the disappointment in something that they had said or that they were going to do, okay? So we're not going to get into that. It's nobody's business but mine. But I was voicing my opinion, and this person said to me, well, I'm not responsible for you. And you're right. You're right. You're not. No, you're not responsible for me. But sometimes we are responsible for hurting someone's feelings when we say something that sounds very uncaring, right? And so, yeah, that is something that doesn't make me furious, but once again, there's that play on words, right? Furious and hate and disappointment and, all in the same kind of ball game, you know what I'm saying? So I was hurt, I was disappointed, but moreover, I thought, don't play games. I'm 63 years old. I've been the ball field, okay? I have ran that whole ball field a couple of times, and I don't put up with that shit no more. I don't play those games no more, okay? Don't pretend to care about somebody. Don't pretend. Don't put on any pretense, especially with me. Don't put on a pretense with me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to love me. You don't have to care about me. You don't have to be responsible for me. But try to be human, right? Try to be human. Try to be non-narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? Stop thinking about your feelings. And, and in this same context, I had said something to this individual one time, and this person got upset and said, talk to me with more respect. I was like, whoa, like, geez, okay. And then it's like, is this my karma? Maybe it is. But I do not think that being disrespectful to someone that you have voiced that you care for or that you appreciate having in your life, voicing disrespect to them in any manner is wrong. And so, I am of the mindset that if someone shows you once that they don't respect you, and then all of a sudden, and that first time is like maybe a oopsie, right? Like, oh, I didn't mean it, I was just joking, whatever, that's fine. You do it a second time and a third time, and sweetie, don't forget to slam the door behind you, because I won't go there anymore. And I won't. This friendship with this individual has ended, and I'm okay with it. They're okay with it. They see that friendship would go nowhere anyway. And so, so it was the end of that. And I have learned over my 63 years to stand up for myself and to not put up with that and to not allow somebody to disrespect me. And so that's what it is. So those are the three things, basically, only, that I could think of that would make me not necessarily furious, but very disappointed or disillusioned in a connection or in a relationship or in a situation, whatever it may be. So that was day 15, day 16? Yeah, that was day 16. So it says, what makes you furious and why? And there's my answer. So I shall see you on day 17, and I'm really curious about what the question is for day 17. So I shall see you then. The good Lord be willing. Good night. Bye.